And now we want to bring in Jonathan Turley on the breaking news that we just got out of the Supreme Court. Jonathan, if you're with us, Professor, can you weigh in on what we've just gotten from the court, halting the COVID-19 vaccine rule for U.S. businesses for now? What does all this mean?
Well, this is what some of us predicted after the oral argument. I was struck by the different tone and substance of the questions being raised by the conservatives between the two cases. On the health facility cases, the justices acknowledged that there was a closer nexus there and did not as seriously push back on the larger mandate. It's really the OSHA case that is the more significant mandate for the Biden administration. It was that mandate that President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, celebrated as a, quote, workaround. The White House could not get a mandate from Congress. They initially said that they thought they might have authority for the president to order a mandate, and then they acknowledged they did not. And then Klain retweeted that we found a workaround. We'll have OSHA do it. And this could affect up to 100 million workers. Well, a flag was just thrown on the play. I mean, the Supreme Court justices continually asked for the authority that it was being used here, and they referenced Ron Klain's statement. And as I've said before, the justices are not into workaround, because it's a workaround constitutional authority. They want authority. And they kept on coming back and saying, where did you find this authority? Why isn't this a question for Congress to have ordered, not for some agency to do a workaround?
Yeah, not surprisingly, Jonathan, Justice Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan, who all dissented, did not agree with your learned assessment of things, writing in their defense, in their dissent, rather. Today, we are not wise. In the face of a still raging pandemic, this court tells the agency charged with protecting worker safety that it may not do so in all the workplaces needed. They clearly thought it was within the purview of the Supreme Court and the courts to rule on this.
Well, they certainly made no secret of that during the oral argument. What I think they're going to get some pushback on is that all three justices made statements about the pandemic that were heavily criticized in terms of their factual understanding of where we are in terms of cases and the virus. And, of course, Justice Sotomayor was the one who was most criticized for giving a number that was 20 to 30 times higher in terms of this impact on children. And so I think that really did undermine them a bit. But I also have to say, in fairness to them, these are three justices that have always been highly deferential to agencies. They're big supporters of a thing called the Chevron doctrine. And so this is consistent. This is not activism. This goes to the heart of their view of jurisprudence. They believe strongly that you should defer to federal agencies.
The Supreme Court has issued two decisions related to the Biden administration's vaccine mandates. Remember, there were challenges that were heard just about a week ago in the Supreme Court, and this is what the Supreme Court has just come down with. They have blocked that vaccine mandate that applied to large employers with 100 people or more. This was a vaccine mandate that effectively went into effect on Monday, just the masking portion of it, and the vaccine portion of that mandate was supposed to go into effect February 9th. Now that mandate is completely blocked. This is a mandate that would have affected about 80 million workers across the United States at large employers. Businesses had said to the Supreme Court, you need to block this. The agency does not have the power. That's OSHA. They do not have the power to put this mandate into effect. The Supreme Court agreeing with them. So that mandate is blocked. On the other hand, there was also another mandate that the Supreme Court was looking at. This was for healthcare workers, affecting about 10 million people. It was put into effect by Health and Human Services. The justices during arguments indicated that that might be okay, and turns out the justices saying that mandate is okay. So we have a bit of a mix here for the Biden administration. They wanted this mandate that arguably affected a lot more people, about 70 million more people to be allowed to go into effect, but it will not. Large employers now no longer have to enforce this mandate that their employees had to wear masks for the time being and beginning in February had to be vaccinated. That mandate has been blocked by the Supreme Court. Now, granted, the legal challenges are going to continue to play out in the lower courts on the merits of this case, but the Supreme Court was acting here to immediately block that mandate. On the flip side, healthcare workers will have to get vaccinated, again affecting about 10 million healthcare workers. And the difference here, guys, is in the agencies that are administering this and the powers that they have as related to certain workers. The justices indicated in oral argument that the federal government, OSHA, the agency, could not put this mandate into effect so widespread for all of these businesses with 100 or more employees. It was just beyond the power of OSHA. It was maybe something that Congress had the power to do, but in this case, an agency had acted. And we've seen from the Supreme Court, these conservative justices very skeptical of agency power. So that's why that mandate has been blocked. On the other hand, the healthcare mandate applies to healthcare workers at healthcare facilities, hospitals, and otherwise that get federal funding, Medicaid, Medicare. And the justices here saying that because it gets federal funding, the Biden administration does have the power to enforce, enact this mandate for healthcare workers. So we've been waiting for this ruling, this decision for the past week. The Biden administration has been waiting for this. The White House has been waiting for this. And Allison and Victor, they've got a bit of a mixed bag here. The bigger mandate that would have affected more workers won't go into effect. The smaller mandate that affects about 10 million healthcare workers will go into effect. Guys?
Jessica, really helpful on helping us to understand